Okay folks, I'm going to do a quick news review. I'm using the Daily Star again, and like I've said in the past, it's a bit of a thing for me. It's quick and it's easy. Why does that look like it's on the piss? I don't know. Do that. There we go. Is that better? I thought that was all set up. Anyway, I'm on the piss, who cares? You're only wanting to hear me. Let's make me a bit higher so you can see my beautiful face. For the visually impaired, I'm messing around with my tripod. Right, folks. Monday, May the 13th. And here we go. There's nothing. It's a bit of a slow news today. It's Britain's favourite newspaper, apparently, the Daily Star. EastEnders Jake, wrestler died in front of me. I'm a big fan of the wrestling. I have done a bit of a review where I've actually fallen out of love with wrestling. I mean, I've been watching wrestling for years and years and years, mainly WWE. I got started with the world of sport, with Big Daddy and Giant Taystacks and Rollerball Rocco and Mick McManus and all that kind of stuff. And Big Daddy and that, he used to just come in and boost them all out the way like it. But then I moved on to the WWE when it used to be on ITV. And, I've grown up with it, with the wrestling, the NWO and WCW and DX and the Nexus, and it's brilliant. I love it, and don't get me wrong, I know what it is. It's entertainment. It's no different to watching Corrie or Emmerdale. It's just a bit more realistic. And anyway, EastEnders Jake Wood, watched in horror as a top Hollywood wrestler died in the ring in front of him. The actor was with his family in the front row when former WCW star Silver King collapsed, and he died from a suspected heart attack. I do know of Silver King, and he's one of those that wore the masks. He was the Mexican one or whatever, and he was 51. And you know what, right? You people have a go at wrestlers. It's not real, but they put their bodies on the line. I mean, all right, you never seen Albert Tatlock doing a moonsault, or Hilda Ogden doing a 5-star frog splash. These guys and girls, these late men and women put their lives on the line. There is actually people. Dross, he actually got paralysed, broke his neck. Owen Hart, he snapped his neck coming down on a wire and went straight into a ring post. These guys, you've got people who have actually had to retire through injury, and you don't see Ken Barlow retiring through injury because of what he's done on a soap. So that's mainly what it's. So yes, it's entertainment. Yes, they're putting their lives on the line, the bodies on the line, and they have to have total trust in each other. Because if they don't, it's completely. Well, the wrong is this. Yes. Now then, where did I see that? My end's come off. I know where I am now. I've seen it somewhere. I think it's upstairs. Right. I've worked it out. What's wrong with it? I know why it's on the wonk. So, it's a sad thing, but there again, these people, they take painkillers to carry on performing, because when all's said and done, it's a job and they have to pay the bills. So it's hard for them, and no doubt, there was a big thing about steroids, taking steroids, because, they've got to keep the muscles up, they've got to still look good, and it's sad. It is bloody sad. So, a wrestler's died. Grace to face off with 007. Grace Jones is being lined up to start in the scene in the new James Bond film. The 70-year-old model who has previously appeared alongside Sir Roger Moore. See that? The eyebrow. Is reportedly set to join Daniel Craig on the set of the much-hyped next film. I'll tell you what, this James Bond film is going to be the biggest bomb ever. It is absolutely going to bomb. It's going to be shit. That it is. I wonder where that thing's. And, just take it from me, I think it's going to be crap, because there's too many people. They're trying to force it and not let it happen, on its own. A man has died after plunging almost 100 foot down a cliff in a van. Paramedics battled to save the seriously injured driver's life, but he died at the scene of the accident. I mean, look at that, at Brighton Marina. So that looks like something off a, you know, of some kind of detective drama thing. I'm getting a bit fed up with this Hawaii network thing. I mean, if you can't even say it, why should you? If you can't even give us a name that you can say, why have it? Britain's Got Talent, Ben Hart has slated Simon Cowell's show. Almost 9 million viewers saw him perform on Saturday night at TV's Mr. Nasty called his tricks unbelievable. I'm not into Britain's Got Talent, I'm just fed up with it. Harry Redknapp is charging £70 for a t-shirt during his current and audience with tour. The ex-football boss, 72, wants £25 for an autograph programme, with him reportedly set to rake in £200,000 from VIP meetings. No, sorry, anybody who pays that much money to see Harry Redknapp must want their heads looking at. Nuclear bombs as YouTube and Netflix explode. The planet faces a power shortage due to soaring demand for online streaming sites such as Netflix and YouTube. The UK uses the internet needs. The UK's use of internet needs electricity evaluates to 6 nuclear power stations. Scientists have revealed. I've got solar panels, but that's no good in the bloody dark, is it? I've got to get a battery, to be fair, to harness, to keep all this power that I'm making. This YouTube thing is absolutely crazy. I mean, I thank you people out there for watching me and all this. It is an honour, and I'm very humbled that people have taken me into their living rooms and their bedrooms and wherever. You're probably sitting there on the bog watching me now while I'm doing this. I am humbled for being allowed to rest on your lap while you're having a dump. It's I never thought things like that would happen to me. But there you go. Killing Eve, that programme has won everything that could be won, I think. And Jodie Comer, who plays the killer, I can't say her name, she bagged the Best Actress. And she was good in that. And that's out now, isn't it, soon? I think it's coming out over here soon as well. EU must move final, says fans. Football chiefs were under pressure last night to switch the two All-England European finals to the UK. Arsenal and Chelsea fans have made a 5,000-mile round trip to Azerbaijan. I mean, you know what, right? You know where the final's going to be. And, you know, all these little places that, I mean, for one, the one thing about this thing is that I think, is it the European Cup final? They've only got something like 8,000 tickets each for each club, and then the Europa League final, Arsenal Chelsea, that's something like 6,000 fans each. What the fucking hell's that all about? Why? Corporate naff. It's just, I know they put all the money into it, but you know, it's just. Or at least have a stadium that's like the one of the biggest as there is. I mean, all right, Real Madrid, Real Madrid holds thousands, doesn't it? And they're only got something like £8,000. It's just ridiculous. It's just people wanting to be in a place at the time, but don't really care about football. Builders are getting sick of tea, with more than a third preferring coffee and 1 in 5 herbal brews. I must admit, when I used to work with my dad fitting the double glazing and stuff, and people are saying, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And in the end, you absolutely get fed up with tea. I mean, June, she can drink like 20 cups of tea a day. She's just like a teaaholic. And fair play to her, you know, at least she's drinking kind of stuff. And but I get fed up with it. And these times I don't want to drink. I prefer sparkling water at the moment. I don't know why. I just prefer sparkling water. Are you lying in that sun, you stupid dog? You're baking yourself. So yeah, I can understand that. I'm getting fed up with tea. Temp cops fury. 123 mil to fill out the thin blue line. The hard up police forces have shelled out 123 million to job agencies in the past 2 years. Temporary staff have already been drafted into the crisis-hit forces across Britain because of the cuts. Well, how does that work out then? If they're paying out, if they can afford to pay out in that, they can afford to pay the police more, I would have thought. The Metropolitan Police was the biggest spender, coughing up 73.4 million to agencies. Chiefs have already stumped up 10 million for leadership training courses for staff over 3 years. It's just another joke how we can waste money because we're not organised. This is what I've always said. British management is absolutely shit. Bex's Eyes Up TV goal. David Beckham is set for a new starring role as a telly show maker. Golden Balls is said to be launching his own TV production company to make a series of shows mainly about himself. Well, that ain't going to get watched, Bex. You can only watch, I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I'm a big fan of Beckham. I think he was one of the few players that actually played for England and it cared to him. He actually meant it. There was so many who used to just pull out, I've got an injury, I've broke my toenail, my hair's parted wrong, or something like that. You just do anything to get out of playing for your country. But Bex was always there, and that shows with the record amount of caps he got. And I mean, he did have time off as well, didn't he? Because he's had a couple of bad injuries. So, you know, Saran Jones suffered crippling anxiety attacks, which forced her to quit her East End show. She was signed up for the play Frozen last year, where she was portraying the mother of a murdered girl when she collapsed backstage. Some of these people, there must be so much pressure on them to perform night in, night out, and all that kind of thing. At least when you're on the TV or you're making a film or a drama, you can edit it, can't you? It gets cut, chopped, put together. But some of these people, it must be tremendous pressure. But there again, I do this. I don't edit my stuff. This is it. What I see, all right, I might start off the first one and think, oh, you prick, I don't like the sound of that. But once I'm rolling, I don't stop it. Right, it's going to be hotter than Ibiza this week. Temperatures are set to rise. That means it's going to be freezing and snowing. A former soldier with post-traumatic stress disorder rescued 3 people from a blazing plane after it crash landed on a dual carriageway. The light aircraft ploughed into the A40 between Abergavenny and Raglan in Monmouthshire. Traffic skidded to a halt as a plane of smoke bellowed into the air. So there it is, folks. That's nasty, isn't it? And some soldiers been in and saved them. Absolutely amazing. These army lads, right? I could never be in the army. I can't obey orders and stuff. My discipline, like that kind of thing. But these army lads, they have to work as a unit together. And this bloke here, if he's gone in there and pulled 3 out, fair play to the lad. As a young lad had emerged to crawl out, I got there. A young woman was crawling out of her window. I grabbed her by the belt buckle and just dragged her out. The pilot put his hands out. I grabbed both of them, pulled them out of the plane and clear. Mr. Starr, I hope that ain't Freddie Starr. Mr. Starr said he asked the pilot if there was anyone else inside and moved the 3 away from the aircraft, which was ablaze and waited for emergency services. Fair play to you, mate. Absolutely. Ex-bomb sergeant Joel Starr. Take my hat off to you there, dude. If I had a hat on, I would take it off to you. You've got some balls, mate. Border Forces officers detained 26 suspects migrants, including 8 young children, after they were rescued off Kent in 2 incidents. One of the children was believed to be only 2 years old. The first incident involved a small boat and 14 people. But the thing is now, right, I don't understand this. They've travelled from, where does it say a place where they've come from? They were Iranian Iraqis, right? So they've travelled all the way across Europe just to get on the boat to get in the Channel. You've come through France and Italy, and you've got all those countries there. Now, granted, people are saying, well, we've got to take our fair share. But surely to be an asylum seeker or something like that, you've just got to take to the first place you can get and register your details. Because we don't know who's coming into the country. We don't know who's going into these Yugoslavia, or not Yugoslavia, what's it now? Can't remember the name of Yugoslavia. Whatever, down there. You know, there's got to be some kind of thing. And We can't just keep letting people in. We have no history who they are. We do not know anything about them, and it's wrong. Something's got to be sorted. A teenager has died after apparently taking ecstasy. I don't know. What is wrong with kids? I never took drugs like that, and I would never will. And I tell you what, my child, the ginger one, they better not do it now, because they will be seriously grounded if they survive. Rock icons Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey are terrified of fouling up on Twitter. The Who legend plans to use social media to reach out to fans. But he's a bit worried because, like Danny Baker's done over the racist raw tweet. You've just got to think about what you say, mate. I come on here and I try to be as honest as I can and word these things how I think they can be worded. You've got to take a step back sometimes, and you've got to think that 9 times out of 10, you know, you're okay, but there's going to be one person who will be offended by what you do and what you say. Although you don't need no offence by it, there will be people out there, and they'll pick it and they'll turn it, and they'll make out that you're a real bad person and that you shouldn't be allowed on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or whatever social media you're using. And these people that do this, they seem to think they're something special. And they're not. Are they, Penguin Wolf 69? You're nothing that special, really. So if people want to have a go at this, get yourself a channel set up and do it, and see how hard it is not to say the wrong thing. Okay? Right. Neck snap mum sues pool. Neck snap mum sues over pool wave hell. A mum is suing a holiday hotel for £9 million after she was paralysed on a hen do. Bonnie Lackley broke her neck in 3 places when the rubber ring she was sitting on overturned because she claims hotel staff turned on the swimming pool's wave machine. She has now been given permission by courts in the UK to sue the hotel, BH Mallorca Hotel, in a British court. The 41-year-old was celebrating with family and friends at her cousin's bash in Magaluf. She was flipped upside down, breaking 3 bones and damaging her spinal cord. She said, "I told them I couldn't feel anything. We all knew it was serious. I landed face down in the water and couldn't understand why my arms and legs weren't doing what I wanted them to. I wish I'd never got in that wave pool, and I can't change that now." Well, I hope you get that sorted, Bonnie. And what a terrible, terrible thing to happen. I mean, the fun should. Do you know what? Right, I'm not. You have to. It can happen in this country. But you do have to be so careful when you go abroad. You know what I mean? These things, they seem to have a lack of, I mean, I go mad over the health and safety in this country. It's absolutely ridiculous. But there again, you go to some other places and there is absolutely bugger all. You know, if you're turning that wave machine on, surely there should be a, everybody out, blow the whistle, everybody out while we turn the wave machine on. But, I don't know, Robert De Niro, he's earning his dough as the face of Warburton's. The 75-year-old Goodfellas star is to star as a gangster mode to plug the firm's first range of New York bagels. And there he is. You looking at me? Is that the one? Can't remember now. Robert De Niro. What a legend. What a complete legend. Once Upon a Time in America. If you have never ever seen that film, get Once Upon a Time in America. It's an all-time gangster classic. All-time gangster classic. There's a few scenes in there that are a bit bad, right? And I mean, I'm saying a bit bad, they're fucking bad. But the film itself is an absolute classic. Typical gangster film set in the, I think it was the late 20s, early 30s. And it just moves on through life. Through the life of the gangsters. Corrie star David Nielsen is so sick of being recognised when he goes out, he wears a disguise. That's Roy Cropper, isn't it? He's from Leicester. Oh, David Below, originally from Loughborough, Leicestershire, recalled, "I was in a restaurant with him." David Below, originally from Loughborough, Leicestershire, recalled, "I was in a restaurant with him." Whoever he was, I've missed. Oh, his son. And it suddenly went very quiet. They're all looking at me. Yeah, and it's Roy Cropper. Yeah, Roy Cropper. Apparently, I don't watch Corrie anymore. I used to watch it with my mother and that kind of thing. But he actually ad-libs Leicester City sayings in. He'll chuck in the odd word. I don't honestly know what, but apparently he's a big Leicester fan. And he throws in the odd Leicester comment. Officers are being investigated by the police watchdog after a 57-year-old man died in custody. He became unwell and died in custody. Well, there's not much more I can say. 4 prisoners in a top security anti-extreme separation unit have bombarded a prison with 108 official complaints about discrimination. Well, they're bound to, isn't they? They're just going to make life as difficult as possible. What you would do is just ignore every complaint and tell them to shut the fuck up and get on with it. Madeleine McCann's parents wished her a happy 16th birthday to her yesterday and vowed to keep searching for her. And Kate and Jerry wrote happy 16th birthday on her Instagram page. Yeah, because I'm sure she was actually looking at that, weren't she? You know, I did a review the other day about it. Some bloke wants to do a lie detector test on a paedophile in Germany. Do the lie detector test on Kate and Jerry, and then you can move on, right? Easy done. SAS instructor Ant Middleton doesn't want any of his kids to join the army. I can understand that. Quite easily. A lorry driver was filmed making a credit card payment while at the wheel. He was caught holding a credit card and a phone as he drove on the M40 near Leamington Spa Walks. He was one of 3,000 law-breaking drivers filmed by the police from 3 highways England funded HGV cabs in the last year. That's a bit silly, my old lad, because them bloody lorries, they can hurt, can't they? There's enough crashes where people have, lorries have ploughed into stuff because they were distracted. It's bad enough. Have you ever sneezed when you're driving? Fucking hell, sometimes that does. You don't all of a sudden, I sneeze, I don't feel a sneeze building up, but all of a sudden it's like I could be sitting there, boom, he's gone. It's truth. Unbelievable. An elderly artist was hauled before courts after drawing a rude cartoon on the back of beer mats. John Wheeler, 75, drew the male and female genitals and put the mats in pubs, public loos and libraries across the West Midlands. Wheeler of Kingsworth, who calls himself the Black Country Banksy, can't even think of something they up originally himself then, admitted outrage in public disney and was given a 5-year sexual harm prevention court order at Wolverhampton's court. There you go then. Sherlock Holmes is having a 50p coin dedicated to him to celebrate the 160th birthday of his creator, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Absolutely love Sherlock. That's a very good thing to have him on a 50p piece. I would have had him on something bigger, like a £2 coin. But there you go. Lewis Hamilton. Oh, what happened to him? What happened to the thing yesterday? I'll have to have a look. New law enforcement to ban puppy farming. And rightly so. Puppy farming should be absolutely outlawed completely. Because what's happening is the breeding the dogs too closely. We're getting they're getting hip displacement, they're always ill, they're getting kidney thing, and they're charging a fortune. And these people who go and buy these dogs, who don't do their research on these puppy farms, you know, it's their own fault really. You've got to think about it. Staggering 86% of young men are having an Ant and Dec style bromance. No, I'll leave that one there. A disgusting rugby player delayed a 55-minute flight for 90 minutes after alleged sexual harassment involving harassing a cabin crew member. Travellers said they were intimidated and sickened by a raucous rugby group on the plane from Bristol to Belfast on Friday. One was escorted off the plane. One was escorted off by police after approaching the crew member as the plane was taxiing to take off, forcing it to return to its parking bay. Sometimes, lads, you've just got to calm it down, you know what I mean? I know it's nice to have a laugh. I've been on cricket tours and stuff like that, and we've had a right laugh, but you've just got to think a little bit about what you're doing. Caring kids go veggie. 1 in 10 concerned children refuse to eat meat after 44% are trying to eat less meat and dairy. According to research by Linda McCartney Foods, 44% of those who have gone meat-free did so to be kind and to nature and animals. I can understand that. Sometimes I do eat meat, and you know, you look across and you see all the animals in the fields and all that, and you think, what the fuck am I doing eating that? It's I don't know. It's one of them things. You know. Oh. A pupil was killed after a severe allergic reaction to pollen. Joe Dale, 16, had been celebrating the end of his exams in a park while relaxing at a friend's house. That evening he suffered a devastating asthma attack. He was taken to hospital but failed to regain consciousness. It's more and more of this is happening, and it just makes me wonder why this is happening. Is it something to do with the way that everything is so sterilised nowadays? You know, your kid falls over, you're wiping their hand already. When I was a kid, I was out playing in dirt and mud and everything. And, you know, I've got no allergies whatsoever. I never have, and my sister never has. And, you know, we've always had animals, we've had pets. I used to go down to my grandma and my granddad's, they had an orchard, they used to keep chickens and everything. It was, you know, we weren't scared of dirt. But nowadays, it's like, you know, you know, you drop the dummy when you were a kid in the old days, and like your mum would pick it up, wipe it, and shove it back in your gob. You know, a bit of dirt won't hurt. It builds up your immune system, and that's how it should be. So, right, we're on the centre pages now. It was a big day yesterday in the Premier League, and when Liverpool took the lead, and then Brighton took the lead, I thought, hey, up, we're in here. I was watching True Geordie and it on Sky. And then Man City scored, and then they scored again, and then I just lost all interest, and I stopped watching it. It was a great performance by Liverpool, and it is a shame normal times with that many amount of points they'd have won the league, and won the league handsomely well, but it wasn't to be. I think Liverpool slipped up so many times, too many draws. I think they'd only lost one game all season, and you know, it's something to build on for the future. So fair play to Liverpool, well done, good effort but not good enough, and well done to Man City. It's one of them things. Nice to see Riyad Mahrez scores, because he's had a bit of a torrid time. I think he thought he was going to go there and just walk in, and he hasn't. He's not that good a player. He's not £80 million worth what they played for him, but he is a good player, but you know, that's the way it is. Bad day for for Manchester United. I'll say it now, I've been saying it since Ollie took over the job at Old Trafford. He's not good enough for the job. He's not good enough, and I don't think Paul Pogba's heart's in it. I think a lot of these players should actually be paid on a basic wage of something like, I don't know, £20 an hour, and then if you win and you perform well, then you get everything in your bonuses. And I think a lot of clubs should start now looking into this and bring it into some kind of FIFA law that clubs... players only get paid if they play well or something. You get paid. I mean, Danny Drinkwater's at Chelsea, and I think he's only played about 5 minutes, and he's like on something like £200,000 a week or whatever he's on, and it's an absolute joke. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know Chelsea are a rich club, but it shouldn't be like that. So, and it's the same with Gareth Bale at Man United, at Real Madrid. It's you know. So Leicester finished off the season with a 0-0 draw. I've not seen the highlights. To be fair, I lost all interest in the league towards the end. There's Man City with the cup. Well done to Man City. There you go. That's that really. And Villa 2, West Brom 1. It's gonna. I think it might be right. So that's it. Oh, I see. Rangers beat Celtic in the derby, and let's move on. Ex-Doctor Who Supremo Russell T Davies exterminates the Queen and German Chancellor Angela Merkel in a new BBC drama. Years and Years kicked off in 2019 as we meet the Lyons family, and now watch how they survive the world as the action jumps 5 years to the future, 2024 and then beyond. And that might be worth a look, because Years and Years starts on BBC One tomorrow. That might be worth a look, that. I like Russell T Davies. I think he's quite a talented writer. Right, I'm coming up to half an hour. I don't know how long this camera's going to last for. I've started to get a little red flashing light sometimes, so here we go. I'm just going to do a quick on Just Jane. My cousin is a user. He can't be bothered to work, so he's never has any money. We're both 28, and he expects me to buy his beer and get him a kebab on the way home. He lives at home with his aunt, so when he wants to get off with the girl, he assumes he can bring her back to my place. My girlfriend can't stand him, but my mates all love him. All love the fact that he'll do anything for a laugh. At the moment, he owes me £300 and wants to stay in my flat for a fortnight.